Canadian Bulldog for Wrestling Merchandise and Memories. That's merchandiseandmemories.com. And welcome to another edition of Card Corner. This week, I'm going to go through two different sets of WCW trading cards that I picked up in the last month or so at different flea markets. I saw bins both times of a fairly small number of trading cards from two different sets, $1 each, and I figured, you know what, I'll be a sport. I want these for my collection, even though, certainly the chances of me getting a complete set of these probably quite minimal, but there you go. So the first set we're going to look at is by a company called CARDZ, CARDS, and this is from 1995, the 1995 CARDZ edition. And this is actually, I believe, before there was even Nitro. So these are just a sort of a weird period in WCW's history. We're going to start off with WCW Main Event Championship, Arn Anderson. You can see he's holding the TV title. I believe you can see Colonel Robert Parker behind him. Yeah, he's the television champion here. And these cards, I mean, they're shiny, but they're not like overly polished, if that makes sense. Like they're there. It's certainly not WCW's best work, but it's not the worst either. Moving right along, this is kind of interesting. You get the poster for Ric Flair versus Big Van Vader at Super Brawl 4, which is a kind of a neat, I do like some of the WCW posters that came out around this time, so it's a neat concept. And then they tell you, basically, this is the pay-per-view set, and they talk about how, sort of what went on there. And that was, of course, going to be Ric Flair's last match if he had lost, which he did not. All right, another pay-per-view poster here, Starrcade 94, triple threat match, which I don't even remember this. Hogan, Sting, and Vader? Starrcade 94, that doesn't seem right. Let's see here. Yeah, that wasn't a match. I'm just going through this right now. I thought they fought different people. Like, didn't Hogan fight Butcher or something like that? I don't know, but it certainly wasn't that triple threat. So that's, in its own, that is kind of an interesting factoid that they got it wrong. Maybe that was just what the poster was, and maybe they changed the match after. I'm not sure. Another pay-per-view one here. Rage in the Cage, Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair, steel cage match. This one did happen, and this was Ric Flair's quote-unquote retirement match for maybe the first time. And of course, he came back within, a few months there. But this is actually the match that happened. So I guess kudos to them getting that one right. Moving right along, Vader. Notice he's not Big Van Vader here. He's just Vader, and he's pressing Sting above his head. U.S. Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, I do remember that period where I think he defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan for the television title. So interesting. Just a very sort of obscure time in WCW's history, I think. All right, we're on to adversaries, and this is Dustin Rhodes and Arn Anderson in, it looks like the War Games cage match. Let's see if we're right here. Yes, War Games at Fall Brawl, and this is when Arn Anderson was aligned with Colonel Robert Parker back then. So many of these things I just don't even remember. Speaking of which, Dave or Evad Sullivan, looks like he's against Kevin Sullivan there, but I could be wrong. They do spell his name Dave here, though. Yeah, it looks like he was fighting his brother Kevin there, so that's cool. These are just, it's bringing back a flood of memories, actually, going through these cards, because it is so long ago now. It's like 30 odd years ago. So we got Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. That's a nice card. I like that one a lot. And they must have been tag team champions at that point when they were managed by Sherry. Only got a few more of this set. We've got another pay-per-view one here. Slamboree 94, a Legends reunion. Ray Stevens, Vern Gagne, Killer Kowalski, as well as Ric Flair, Rick Rude, and Vader. One ring, one moment, one mega event. I don't remember what the matches were on this. I do feel like this is one maybe where Vern Gagne did wrestle a match though, which is kind of funny at that point in his life. Another main event card here. Sting putting the Scorpion Deathlock on somebody. That's not Great Muta, although it looks like his pants. Let's see if we can find out if there's a clue here. He was in Japan. No, it doesn't say who he fought. So I guess we'll never know. If any of you out there do know who Sting was facing in that CARDZ collection, let me know. The Hulkster here. Main Event Championship, Hulk Hogan. That looks like right after he would have won the WCW title from Ric Flair at Bash at the Beach. Let's see if we're right here. Yep, there you go. July 17th, 1994. Feels like ancient history at this point, which I guess it kind of is. And then the last one I've got here from this particular CARDZ collection is Adversaries Hogan and Flair. And you don't get much more of a rivalry than that. And this is talking about how they had, their 94 series of matches, including the first match we just saw where he won the title, and then that cage match we saw earlier. So now we're going to go on to the 1998 TOPPS series of WCW cards. I do have, and this is has been reviewed on Card Corner, the website version of Card Corner, the 1999 WCW NWO TOPPS. I think this is just WCW proper. And we start off with the British Bulldog, no relation to yours truly, against Curt Hennig. Just to see what the back of it looks like. So interesting. Yeah, I mean, a good size profile, good picture, not bad photography here. And then Bryan Adams, the aka Crush, not the singer Bryan Adams, as he's here in the NWO in '98. It's when he joined the TNT TBS fray in '98. Adams immediately attacked Bret Hart. I do remember that. Crush is one of those guys, or Bryan Adams, so underrated. All right, we had some technical difficulties there. We're gonna get back to these 1998 TOPPS cards with Buff Bagwell, who's got Rick Steiner in a chin lock. And what's weird is just the way you have to turn these over to the side to get the profile here. But so he was a key part of the NWO back then. And speaking of NWO, although this is NWO Wolfpack, you've got Kevin Nash. The photography on some of these cards is just kind of like it's just not the most appealing angle for Booker T. Or even the photo of Kevin Nash is just kind of suspect. But like the studio photos are fine. I think that part is good. Coming up next, we've got not even the Giant. We've got Giant from NWO, as he looks to be clotheslining Bill Goldberg. And again, not a great photo there. Although I do appreciate the detailed biographies each of these cards have. So maybe it's fine. Next up, Saturn. Perry Saturn, as he is got a chin lock as well. This time on Bill Goldberg. And I remember, Saturn, when he first came into WCW, was kind of a big deal. So at this point, his star had probably faded a little bit when he was, part of Raven's flock and everything like that. But still a memorable moment. Moving right along, Disco Inferno. I guess it is Disco Inferno. Not the greatest photo of him. His hands in his face. He's like mid clothesline here. I think that's Saturn as well, in jeans. That looks like Saturn. I could be wrong. And then it's just weird. Like they don't have a lot of consistency in these cards. So you've got the studio photo on the back of this one, but some of them don't. And just even the look to the background is a little, it varies, right? Okay. NWO Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, during his brief run in the NWO. And the photo could be a lot better. Can you say flawless? I guess you can't say perfect because of copyright reasons. But yeah, Curt Hennig. Oh, here's an interesting one. Lodi, the guy who created the signs for Raven's flock, and I think he later became on as part of Lenny and Lodi. He's because the Eddie Haskell of wrestling. That is a dated reference, even for 1998. I feel. But anyways, Lodi in card form. That's cool. Then we've got Nitro Girl AC Jazz. Don't know who that is. I don't, other than Kimberly and Charmel, I don't remember most of the Nitro Girls, but AC Jazz. There you go. You've got let's see, information. She has a smaller photo. So again, it's like a different style, but maybe that's it for the Nitro Girls side of this. I don't know. And then Ernest Miller. Ernest the Cat Miller. I don't know if I have any Ernest Miller cards. Looks like he's facing Rick Steiner there. And again, he's got a studio photo. Yeah, my first Ernest Miller card as far as I know. And then the final one in this set is Chavo Guerrero Jr. when he's feuding with his Uncle Eddie. And he's got that Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler shirt. So it's kind of a cool moment there. I do remember that on Nitro. And yeah, the up-and-coming Chavo Guerrero Jr. has become the out-of-control Chavo Guerrero Jr. So, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm going to just look at both of these sets here in closing. The CARDZ one is just brings back more memories to me, I think, because it is so long ago and some cool moments. It's not as professional a set as the one, you know, 3 years later being done by TOPPS, which is obviously a bigger distributor of trading cards. The 98 TOPPS are not bad. There's a few things, you know, I maybe improve on them. But knowing that I probably won't ever be able to get the entire set of those, I mean, you know, you beggars can't be choosers. You take what you can get. And yeah, so we've just gone through some cards from 2 different WCW sets. And for Card Corner, I'm Canadian Bulldog. We'll see you next time.
Let's check out